So the screen is up, but it's still not visible by anyone. We've seen it, it looks good, we've had a quick preview of it, but now we need to go and create the menu option for it. So I can go back into App Manager, go back into AEK, and go back and go into, menu options here and click on that one. And by clicking on that one, I can now see all the AEK menu options that have been created. And again, there's a fair few on here because this is a development environment and we use this for other bits and pieces. But you can see here there's a button that allows me to click Add AEK menu option. So I want to create a brand new menu option for this tile. So if I click on that, it will then ask me for a description of that tile. So this is my weather report, for example. I can ask for an image icon, so I can say, well, there's, if you want to use an icon for it, I will be using, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but I'll use this alerts one for now. It will ask me what authentication access I require. So do I require a username and password to use this AEK screen? Does this need to be passed forward with this screen? So again, if you're looking at something where you are logging in as an LDAP user and you require to pass in their credentials to go and auth with the grade service or system, then obviously you need to make sure that you click on this area here and obviously click username and password. Profile owner will obviously just mean that if, for example, I'm in Campus Open House and I select this, only the administrators with access to Campus Open House will see this and be able to edit this. No one else will be able to make modifications to it. So this is another way of empowering some of the faculties on site. You could have different profiles for different faculties and they could be able to use these. Maybe the student union could have their own profile and be able to use it that way so they can see their tiles but nobody else's, or pocket guide content as well. They won't be able to see that information from different people. And then roles. So roles are pretty much who you want to see this and who you've got here. So for example, we've got 2 roles on our setup here. We have default, which is obviously standard user, and we've also got beta tester as well, which allows us to set a tile as a beta tester, and only those users which have that can see that information. So we're going to set it as default. That's fine. I'm quite happy with that. And then you'll see this one here called no toolbars items added. So in AEK 1, the only way that we could link multiple AEK screens together was obviously we didn't have pages. We weren't allowed to add different pages in. It was kind of one AEK screen with one line of code. So we used to have this thing called toolbars, which used to sit at the bottom and would be a nav menu when you would click through it, and you'd be able to load different AEK pages. So for example, you might have a library tile, and inside of that would be your loans AEK page and your finds AEK page and your search AEK page, and all of these were toolbar items. Obviously now moving into the AEK2 format, we have the ability to add pages to a project. We have the ability not only also to do that, but we also have the ability to create nav bars within React, which react to which one's active and which one's not, and other bits and pieces as well. So this is just kind of a bit of legacy terminology here, which I just want you to try and get your mindset past, so you don't get too confused about it. So we have our menu option, and we're going to assign a toolbar item, which is basically an AEK screen, to it. So I click Add Toolbar Item. I have a label, which would be used if it was sat in a navigation bar. It won't be because there's only one item. And then I can select the screen. So I can scroll down and find my screen. There we go. And I don't need to worry about the description or the icon, and it doesn't require secure prompt because we're not going via SSO on this one. And I can click Save. And that is going to create in here, of the many that are available, It's not picked it up unfortunately because it's probably on page 2 of this one. There we go. So now it's sat there and it's ready to go. So if I now go into App Manager and App Builder, which is kind of where you create all your additional tiles, and I go into this profile, so I'm starting off on the default profile, which is Welcome to My CU. This is not the one I want. I want to go into Campus Open House, and by loading this up, I should see somewhere my tile. And there it is. And at this point I can then start playing around with it. I could say that I want my icon size, for example, full width icon. I can have that, so that's going to make that a full width icon. I might say that I don't want a label of text on there to just kind of make that a bit more prominent. I might say I want to scale the width of the tile, so now I want it to be a 2 width high, and maybe I'll also put it as the height, tile height here of 2. And all these properties are just here just to kind of allow you to get things to stand out and have different shapes. I can also drag and drop this tile around to where I want it to be, so maybe because it's brand new I want it to be the first thing that users have in the top left hand corner, big primed space for it. And once I'm happy with that, I can click Save and Publish. So that tile will now be available on MyCU Dev for someone to use. So if I go into MyCU Dev now, and I just press Enter, just give that a refresh, and wait for it to go and check to see if there's any new information, which it has now. You can see my tile has now loaded. So I can navigate over to it, click on that tile, and there is my weather report information for the days that are coming up.